Welcome back. In the previous video, we have learned about at-autoword annotation, at-component annotation. We have also seen how constructor dependency injection and setter dependency injection works. Now in this video, we are going to create a new project, and let's keep that project name Coaching Institute, because from the beginning of this playlist we are working on Coaching Institute topic, right? Let's create a project, and name of the project we will keep Coaching Institute. Okay, here we will select only two dependencies: Spring Boot DevTools and Spring Web. So in this project we will follow the Spring MVC. MVC means Model View Controller. With the help of a MVC, we will create a project of Coaching Institute, and with the help of Coaching Institute project, we will learn and understand different types of annotation. So let's start. First of all, we are going to create 5 different packages. The name of those packages we will keep as controller. Another one we will keep as an interrupt service. Another package name model, where Coaching Institute setter and getter class will exist. Now the service implementation, now the service class, and after that our primary package in which our Coaching Institute main application exists. So let's create these 5 packages first. So all the 5 packages created. Now what we will do, first of all we have to create a model package. Okay, I haven't created the model package, so let's create the model mode package, and name of the package will be com.org.modal, and inside model package we will create one class name we will keep as Coaching Institute. Inside Coaching Institute class we will keep our famous 3 implementation of int. First one is private int salary, private int fees, private int maintenance. Now let's create the setter and getter class. For that, shortcut key is Alt Shift S, and after that we will select generate getter and setter. Select all, generate. That's it. Let's create a toString also. Now what we will do, in the interrupt service class, here I am going to create one interface, and name of that interface will be, let's say, interface Coaching Institute service. Here I am going to do one method, and name of that method will be Coaching Institute return type and get all details. For now I have added one. In further implementation I will add more interface Coaching Institute service. Now let's go to the service class. Here inside Coaching Institute service I will implement interface coaching institute service, which I have just created. Now here what I am going to do, I am going to first of all mark this annotation as at service. Now you need to know one thing, that at service annotation is a specialization of a at component annotation. There is no special feature of at service annotation. If you will move from remove at service annotation and you will keep it as an at component, it will do the exact same work. But it is always recommended to use at service annotation, because in at service annotation all the logical implementations in the service annotation class only. It is always a better approach to be considered, but there is no different or a special feature of at service annotation. So what I will do, I am going to call that model class I have created. What is the name of the model class? Coaching Institute. So let's write up model class names. You will see Coaching Institute at ADHYAN. Now here I mentioned that model class is Coaching Institute class as at ADHYAN, so that it will automatically inject with the Coaching Institute. Now we already know that to automatically inject we have to make the bean of this Coaching Institute and to available in the IOC container. For that I have to mark this annotation as at component, which I have already talked about in my previous video. If you didn't watch my previous video, I have given video link in the description section. Please go ahead and watch that video first, then come to that, because that is the most important part to understand this project. Now here I have marked this annotation as at component. Let's go back to the Coaching Institute service class. Now what I will do, I will hard code the values. Coaching Institute dot set fees. Let's say fees I will keep as 25,000 only. And here I am going to return Coaching Institute. So let's first of all understand up to now what we did. First of all, we created one model class, and the name of that model class is Coaching Institute. And after that we created interface service, where we have given implementations of service, and name of that class we kept as interface Coaching Institute service. The job of interface Coaching Institute service to provide a prototype of a Coaching Institute service class. And name of this class is Coaching Institute service. Here we have used one annotation, and name of that annotation is at service. At service comes is a specialization of a at component annotation. If you will remove at service annotation and put at component annotation, that also you can do, but it is always recommended to use at service annotation, so that it will be easier to understand that this class or this service class is only and only used for the implementation of logic, for the implementation for the logical calculation, or you can simplest way you can say for servicing the MVC flow. Now this Coaching Institute service class was implemented from interrupt coaching service implements, and after that what we did in Coaching Institute service class, we added one we modeled from here, we auto-wired and connected with the Coaching Institute model with the help of at auto-wired and at component annotation. At auto-wired and at component annotation will help us to connect independently in the IOC container, which will help us to maintain loosely coupled. Coaching Institute class was called and used in the Coaching Institute service, and in the Coaching Institute service we have hard-coded the values. Coaching Institute fees I have kept as 25,000, set maintenance 10,000, and salary 5,000, and after that I've returned the coaching institute, and everything was connected and managed from model to here to service class with the help of a ADDYAN and add component. ADDYAN and add component is help to inject the bean independently, and by default in Java configuration it will connect with the help of a byte type. And another annotation which will help us to create is add component, our primary package from which our whole application is going to start. Our primary package name is Coaching Institute application. Okay, up to that much we did. Now here comes the another part. Now what we will do, we will go to the controller section. In the controller section, we will create one class, and name of the class will be Coaching Institute Controller. This controller class we will mark as add controller. Add controller is also a specialization of a add component annotation. Add controller is a specialization of add component annotation. Okay, just like add service annotation is exactly like that add controller, but add controller has a very important job. Add controller shows that this is the control part of the project from where the flow goes, and also there is one more feature of add controller annotation. After using add controller annotation only, you can use add request mapping. The job of our add request mapping is to communicate with the HTTP request headers. After that, from the signal that you will provide after starting the application, with the help of our add request mapping, and according to that HTTP request header, it is going to start. For example, I will put slash here. Sorry, I have kept the backward slash. It should be forward slash. My mistake. Let's change it here also. It should be implemented like this, something correct. Now inside the controller, what we will do, we will call one method, we will write one method, and name of that method name we will keep it as get details. So what we will do, public, let's keep return type as a string, and here I will write get details. So up to controller part we have completed. Now what we will do, we will write here model. Let's talk about a model a little bit. Model contains an application of data which we will access with the help of a HTTP servlet request, and after that this data we will access in any type of format like say string, object, or anything else from the database. And right now we have hard coded the data in the service class. After the data we will access the controller part. After, with the help of a HTTP servlet request, we will access the data in the controller part. After that, what we will do, with the help of a model, we will pass this data to a JSP file. We will implement this data, so we will save this data in an interface of model, and after that this model, the data that we have saved here, we will pass it to the JSP, or we can also say that it is accessed by JSP. What does that I mean? First of all, let's import this one. After that I will show you how exactly it works. So here string I have written wrong, let's write a string here. Now what I have told you, that model first of all, with the help of HTTP servlet request, we will access the data. So what I will do, I will write here Coaching Institute data we are accessing, right? So what I will do, I will write here, let's go to the interface. What is the name of the interface? Interface Coaching Institute service. So here I will keep name of the interface Coaching Institute service, and let's keep the reference name as it will be better. And here I will mark this annotation as @AutoWired. Here we have called interface Coaching Institute service, and reference name we kept as a coaching info. Now if I have mentioned @AutoWired, then also I have to mention @component, right, to create a bean. Now with the help of this interface coaching institute service, we can call all those service classes which are connected to which are connected or implemented by interface coaching institute. So we know that there is one class that we have implemented here, coaching institute service implements interface coaching institute service. So what we will do, we can directly call it here in the controller part. How we are going to call in the controller part? Here we are going to write coaching info dot get all details. Now all those things which is implemented by interface coaching institute service we can call. So we call. Now there is one thing that we already know, at AutoWired is mentioned here. Now I have to mention at component. Okay, but if we look at it, the at coaching service, here I have mentioned at service annotation. I have told you that at service is also a specialization of at component, so it is done already. Now we have accessed the data with the help of HTTP servlet request. Now what I will do, I will write model. Now we will save the data in a model interface. How we are going to do that? model model dot, right now I am going to use add attribute. Here I am going to write something like details, institute details, and here I will just copy this one. So all the data is saved in a model interface. Now here I'm going to, string is there, so I'm going to return something. Let's return some JSP file. Let's say JSP file we will keep as now we will create a JSP file. So we will give some sort of a pattern. So what we will do, we will go to source main folder, now the data is saved in our model interface. We will extract the data in the JSP file. How we are going to do that? We will present a table format first. We will use the GSTL tags. Here I have kept a model saved in the name of institute. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call institute dot fees. You need to remember one thing first, that this name, that whatever you kept it here, model name, it should be same as a controller. And here that fees that I have written here, it's saved as whatever name that you have read it in the you have kept it in the model. So for example, model I have kept as fees, so I am going to exact same name I'm going to keep it here. From this way only we can extract the data from the model interface. Now another one is salary. Now let's see what are the things we have done. Controller we have created, we have seen the implements, we also seen the work of a coaching institute. Now the things that we have done here is we have created a controller. In controller is annotated with @controller annotation. Coaching institute controller we have created, correct? And coaching institute controller is annotated with @controller annotation. The benefit of @controller is also a specialization of a component, but there are some additional feature in it. The way if until and unless you won't mention @controller annotation to the class, you can't use @request mapping. And what is @request mapping? @request mapping will help us to flow the URL of the header, which will help us to navigate the header. So from here only you can mention at request mapping. Okay, so that controller, after that we mentioned at request mapping, and after that what we did, from the coaching institute, from the interface coaching institute service, we implemented the data here in the controller part. With the help of AutoWired connect, and the interface is just the prototype, right? Concrete implementation is coaching institute service. Now after that, we AutoWired that interface coaching institute in the controller. We access the data, whatever the data is saved in the coaching institute service class. Up to that much we did. After that we all, in the controller part, we saved all the data in a model interface. Model is a type of model, contains a data of an application. It is in any format, either can be string or object, anything like that. We have saved the data in an interface. Now this data is accessed by the presentation layout, that is called, in our side, presentation layout is JSP file, and the name of the JSP file we have kept is Coaching Institute JSP. If you will see the string part, in the string I have mentioned the Coaching Institute. Now I have to add prefix and suffix, and also I have to show the path where to find the JSP. For that, what I will do, I will go to the application.properties. Application.property, I will find it out in source main folder resources. Let's go there, and after that, in the MVC flow, in the source flow, we will write spring dot MVC dot prefix. Here I am going to show the path. Up to web app, it will automatically find it out. So what I will do here, I am going to the path. So what will be the path? Web inf slash inside web inf only I have kept the file. Now what I will do, spring dot MVC dot suffix, MVC dot view dot suffix. Okay, we have to do some further implementation also. So what I will do, instead of adding it here, I will create one more folder. That will be better, because I have to do some more files we needed to add in the future, so for the explanation part of this project. So maybe it is far better that it will keep the folder name as JSP, and the parent of this folder will be webinf, and this Coaching Institute file I will move it up to here. Okay, I gave the permission. Now here I will increase the path JSP also. Here I have done, and spring.mvc.view.suffix prefix, this is the path of the file webinf JSP, and in the end I am going to pass it .jsp. So what will happen? Here controller part, you can see that here I have written Coaching Institute. So suffix it is already going, but whenever string will be returned, then automatically it is going to find out that Coaching Institute.jsp. Now here you can see that at request mapping slash is there. So what I am going to do, I am going to write it here like this, and after that I will write something coaching info. Now to access this method, now what we have to do, we have to write, okay, slash is already there, it is there, I will remove this one. What I will do, we will write here like it as 1 minute, this is wrong again, COAC coaching info. That's it. Now what we will do, most of the job is completed only. Now we will start the application to see that our work is done or not, it is executing the project and showing it or not. So let's execute the code. Our implementation, first of all we will go to Coaching Institute application, Spring Boot app. Okay, here I can see that here it is written here started coaching institute application. Tomcat started on port 8080. Now what I will do, I will write here localhost it is showing white level error page. Let's go to the server part and see what's the problem here. Okay, it is not able to scan the controller part. It's not even reaching in the controller part. Let's go to the coaching institute application, and what is the annotation we require to find that controller at service annotation? That is at component scan, because these are all the specialization of at component. Now if I will go inside at Spring Boot application, here I can see that here already given at component scan, but there is one problem with that. Here already given at component scan, but at component scan of at Spring Boot application, which is already embedded inside at Spring Boot application, only works with the parent package to all the child packages. But you can see that I have mentioned 5 different packages here: com.org.controller, com.org.interservice, com.org.model, com.org.primary package, com.org.service. Here all the packages are there, but there is no parent child hierarchy is not available. So for that, what we have to do, again we will go back to the coaching institute application, and here I am going to mark at component scan. I will write it here com.org, means wherever you will find it com.org, please scan all those. So let's import this one first. Now you can see that com.org is the beginning of the package. First com package, after that inside org, after that controller. Same thing in the interrupt service model, after that primary package, after that service. But all those packages are inside com.org. So here I have mentioned that scan all those packages, which is the first packages are under com.org. All the classes which are under com.org. So here I found out that all the packages are com.org. I have written like that, so it will find it out all the specialization of a add component, including add component. Now what I will do, I have used dev tool, so it is restarted again after making the changes. Now what I will do, I will try it again. Okay, again it is showing that not found. So what I will do at that time, I am going to write coaching institute.controller, and first of all we'll find it out this to add controller this path is coming or not. For that, what I am going to do, I will write here one SO basis out. Okay, here I have done one mistake. Here it should be here dot view. Maybe that is creating some sort of a problem. Let's stop the application and start again. This time it might work. You reached okay up to the controller part. We got it. We reached up to controller. Now here it is, one error is coming: path with WebINF or MetaINF. WebINF GSP coaching institute GSP. So what is the problem here? If we'll go to the pom.xml, here we already know that in Spring Boot Tomcat is default embedded, but embedded, right? So you can use all the servlet filters, everything, but to compile GSP file you need to implement Tomcat embed Jasper. Okay, without that the GSP file won't compile. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will add one more dependency, and that dependency will be this Tomcat embed Jasper dependency. Without that, GSP file won't able to render. So let's add this on our pom.xml file and stop the application one more time, and this time again we will run. Let's see what happens next. Fees 25,000, salary okay, salary only it is coming, it is not rendering properly. Let's figure it out why it is not rendering properly. So we will go to the GSP file, coaching institute.jsp. okay, here we forgot to now it is perfectly, all the data is showing whatever the data we accessed. Okay, now you can see that everything is working perfectly fine. Now I want to add few more details here. For example, I wanted to add name of that person also who is handling all this finance related information. So to do that, what I will do, inside coaching institute, that model class, I will add one more variable, and I will keep the name of that variable is, let's say, string head of finance department, something like that I'm going to write. So I have here created the bean class. Now I have to add head of finance department, set a get a class inside coaching institute service. Now here I have two options. First option is inside this coaching institute service class only, I will add just one more set a class, head of finance department, and I will hard code the value. Another option is I will add one more service class. In that service class I am going to add head of finance department value with the addition of three more fields: set fees, set maintenance, set salary, exactly like what I did here. The benefit of that perspective is that will be the advanced, right, and this will be the older one. So older one we will keep for the deprecated purpose. For deprecated means if some client came and said that I want the previous one only, fees, maintenance, salary, and I don't want that head of finance department name, in that scenario we will keep that one. So what we will do, we will create one more, and in that I am going to add head of finance department set a class. So let's create one new class, and I will keep the name of that service class will be advanced coaching institute service. Now what I will do, I will mark this service class as add service. We already know that add service annotation is a specialization of add component. We have already seen the features and benefits. After that we will simply just implement interface interrupt coaching institute service, exactly the way we did in our previous service class. Everything will be same, except we will add one more details, set head of finance department, and we will hard code the values with the addition of new fields, set fees, set maintenance, salary, which is already existed. Now we can see that in the controller part we don't have to do any more new implementation, already done everything. So what we will do, we will directly jump into the GSP part and we will add one more field here, and the name of that field will be Head of Finance Department. Now let's execute the code here. Okay, it failed. In application failed to start. Description section is written here. Coaching info in form.org.controller.coaching institute controller required a single bean, but two were found. Okay, let's see the controller part. Maybe I've done some mistake there. Here I haven't done anything, I haven't implemented any new things. Okay, I understand. Here you can see that in com.org.service package I mentioned two packages, Advanced Coaching Institute Service and Coaching Institute Service. And this controller part calling both the services at service annotation instead of one. So because of that, some ambiguity problem is coming. So to resolve this ambiguity problem, what I will do, I will annotate this class with @primary annotation. @primary annotation will give the precedence of two same type of bean. So now if I will execute the code again, it will focus on this Advanced Coaching Institute Service instead of Coaching Institute Service, because I have marked this annotation as @primary. Okay, so what we will do, we will execute the code and see that if still issue comes or it is working fine. Okay, right now no issue came. Now we will go to the browser side. Okay, now it is running perfectly fine. Now you can see that in the finance department name Aditya is coming. That means now Advanced Coaching Institute Service is providing the controller part. Now what I will do, I will remove @primary annotation from the Advanced Coaching Institute Service, and I will mark @primary @coaching institute service to check or to verify that it is giving primary is giving preference to Coaching Institute Service annotation. So let's do that. Code run perfectly fine. Now let's go to the browser side. Okay, now we can see that here finance department name is completely coming empty. That's because we marked that Coaching Institute Service class, and here we didn't mention anything about Head of Finance Department. We mentioned it Advanced Coaching Institutes. That's Advanced Coaching Institute Service class. That's why it is coming as blank. So from this example we can understand that @primary will help us to solve ambiguous problem whenever a controller calls two bean class at the same time. There is one more way to resolve the ambiguity problem. For that we are going to use @qualifier annotation. To use the @qualifier annotation, what we will do, we will give a name in both the service class. For example, in this @service class, Coaching Institute Service, we will give one name like old data service of the service class name, and the Advanced Coaching Institute Service class, we will keep a name like, let's say, new data service. Now in the controller part, with the help of our @qualifier annotation, we will select which service class I want to access. For example, let's say here I am going to mark this annotation, this interface Coaching Institute Service, with the @qualifier, and I will keep the name of that service class which I wanted to access. So for now I have written the name. Let's say I am going to call old data service. So I wanted to call Coaching Institute Service, so I will keep this name in the @qualifier. Now let's execute the code. Now in the browser part, after reloading, I can see that it is calling the old Coaching Institute Service. Now instead of old data service, if I will change the name in the controller new data service, it is going to call Advanced Coaching Institute service class. Let's do that. Let's reload the code again. Now we can see that here name is coming, so that means now it is calling Advanced Coaching Institute service class. Now there is one important point you need to notice. Whenever in a project @qualifier and @primary was used at the same location or at the same place, then in that situation @primary will give the second precedence and @qualifier will give the primary preference, because @qualifier will directly connect with the service class, or you can say bin class, with the help of a name, but @primary is connecting with the help of a type. So whenever a name was given, name will give the first preference. For example, let's say if this old coaching institute service class, I will mark it as @primary, and in the controller part we already saw that it is called as Advanced Coaching Institute service class, that is new data service. Let's see which one it will show in the browser. It is showing the Advanced Coaching Institute. To be sure that it is calling the Advanced Coaching Institute service, what we will do, the Advanced Coaching Institute service, we will change the name from Aditya to Bimal. Let's cross verify one more time. Now name is changed to Aditya to Bimal. So whenever qualifier and @primary annotation will conflict, at that time @qualifier will always get the first preference and @primary will get the second preference. And if we'll change the @qualifier annotation with something else which is not available at that time, or it's not available in the bin name, then in that scenario it will throw an exception. Let's say for example right now it was written new data service, so I will write new data service something like let's say 123. We know that new data service 123 service class doesn't exist, so I think it will throw an exception that you can't use same annotation at the same two bin type at the same time. See, it's through an exception. So at that time always @qualifier will give the first preference. And this is a very important question in the interview room. In the interview room, whenever it will ask that can we use at the same time, we can use, but @qualifier will give the first preference, and in the @qualifier we are using and different service classes there which does not exist, then in that scenario it won't go to that primary. It will throw an exception that this name does not exist in the interface coaching institute service. Simple. So in this video we learned many new implementations, @primary annotation, @qualifier, we learned about @service and many other different types of annotation and their work. This video is anyway became very much lengthy, so I will end the video here, and in the next video again we are going to proceed this project only to, instead of saving the data in a hard coded, we will try to save data in an embedded database, and from there we will learn few more annotations and learn about the script. So this is the end of the video. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe and press the bell icon to get the regularly updates. Thank you.